Hey everyone, and welcome back to That Plumbing Podcast. I'm Brandon the Plumber, and I'm very excited this week because I'm getting to sit down with my friend Cesar. We've worked together in the past, a couple of different companies, and he is a great example of someone who came from broke fix mentality and saw that options really do increase ticket averages, and it helps you provide a better service. So I'll let you tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get into plumbing?
Yeah, of course. First of all, thanks for having me on, Brandon. Yep. Appreciate the opportunity. But yeah, I've been in the service world about 4 years now. Came from a background where didn't believe in options. It was more of a come in, fix the problem, get out. That's all my background at the beginning was. I got an opportunity to work with a second employer. They actually brought me into the training of somebody that you did too, Cesar L.
Yep, service MVP.
Yep, exactly. That really changed my whole life. It changed my whole perspective on everything when it came to service, providing those options and just letting the customer choose what is right for them. Just, we're the professionals, here's your options, and you choose what you'd like to do with them. But yeah, that's my background. About 4 years in the service world.
4 years in service. And yeah, I'll just give a shout out to Joe Cresera from Service MVP because although I had started to dabble in the ideas of giving options before I came across his program, and we actually went through the program at the same company, you went to the live training for a week.
Yeah, I did a live training out in Denver in 2020, I think it was, 21. So that was great. I got to meet him in person and work with him. So
yeah, he's pretty cool. He knows his stuff.
Joe, yeah.
Uncle Joe. Yeah, I went to it was a coaching meeting in LA, I don't know, a few months ago.
Okay, I remember that was more the manager side one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was still very valuable. And we signed up for his program because you can actually pay, I think it's $50 a month, and you'll get access to his videos, and he'll give you like an overview, a crash course of his system. And it definitely works. I think we can both attest to that.
Yeah.
So he's the one that kind of really sets you on the course of giving options. And so how was it at first? Was it awkward? Did you catch on really well? How did that go?
I was hard-headed at first about it, more of I think my mentality was so blind, and I guess I was like everybody's scared to be a salesperson, scared to, I'm a plumber, I'm not a sales guy, that type of mentality. And so at first it was a little awkward getting into that role with the options and all that. You do feel a little salesy and whatnot, but it's really not. Once you do get it rolling and all that, you do start realizing it's really not. It's honestly providing great service. That's all it is.
Exactly. And like I talked about this in previous episodes. It's all about basically your intent and how you're approaching the situation. Are you trying to steer them into the premium option, or are you just educating them and then giving them the options?
Yeah, exactly. The way I see it is I'm just here helping you make an educated choice. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. Just make an educated purchase, and that's what my job is. And I can't strip. Maybe the Ferrari premium option isn't for everybody, but the ones that do want that option, the ones that do care about their time and really don't want to spend time dealing with plumbing issues, those are the people that we just can't strip those options from them. We have to be fair with everybody because we don't know at the beginning of that call. We don't know what their mentality is and how they want to proceed with fixing all their plumbing issues. So that's why we follow that procedure through every call. It really helps the customer, helps you too, money-wise and everything.
Exactly, because every call is the same. Every customer gets the same procedure no matter what they drive, what their house looks like. You have a process, you do it every time no matter what. And to be kind of like the dealer at a blackjack game, not emotionally involved or attached to any outcome. You're just, here are your cards, you get to choose. That's what Joe says as well. So shout out Joe.
No, exactly. Shout out Joe.
So you hard-headed at first, you start to see that it does work. In my experience, just giving the options. We don't need to really overthink 6 options, all this craziness. Just give them multiple options to choose from. That's it.
Yeah. For me, when at the beginning, I was hard-headed towards it, but I started to look at it in a way where all the answers that I've been looking for are here. Before I had any type of training on anything sales-wise, all that, the answers are here. If I stick to this, if I actually focus and learn, it's going to change the way I do things. It's just my life. And honestly changed in every aspect, money-wise and less stress, stuff like that.
And I find that going into a customer's house, because you're by yourself most of the day, just in the van, unless you're an apprentice or something like that, it's really easy to get tunnel vision and just making no connections, like being lonely. And I find that when I can go into a customer's house and connect with them and actually get to know them as a person and build a relationship, even if I don't sell anything, I leave that job with a good feeling.
Yeah, I think people at beginning, like techs and all that stuff, they are all hard-headed. Not all, but most of them, they're really stuck to the, I'm a plumber, I'm not a sales guy. They're going to learn it. You keep it going. I think technicians, they'll see it, especially when you got people like me and that can vouch for how this works and all that. It really helps them turn their thoughts around.
Because you can't, it is sales. Technically, it's sales, okay? But I think a lot of people just need to see the process, how we build the relationship, how we talk to the customer, how we diagnose the whole system and don't just fix symptoms. And then see within the presentation process, are you presenting and trying to scare them into the premium option, or are you just, here are the facts, here are the benefits, you choose? I think once people see that and understand that you can provide options without being salesy, quote, it's the best thing.
Yeah,
it's the best thing.
What it is.
What is your personal definition of service, and what makes premium service versus just broke fix mentality?
The way I see it is the customer, they're not paying just for our time and all that. They're paying for an outcome while we're out. So it's just us helping them. What outcome do you want from this? Do you want an outcome where you're going to see my face every couple months? Or do you want an outcome where you might not see a plumber for the next 3-4 years? That's what you're paying for. That's why I think this stuff is good. It's good. And people out there that have thought about it or need help or struggle with day-to-day calls, I mean, this is our livelihood. This is what we do. So anything that can make it better and easier for us, I encourage everybody to just give it a try.
Yeah. So we're talking about objection handling today, because I've seen you in action. I've worked with you. You really, and you, I remember when we went through the program, you caught on fast. Like they were talking about you doing well and numbers up within the, I don't know, first couple of weeks maybe. And you really just seemed like, from my perspective, that you took to it. You didn't question it too much. You saw the results, and that's all she wrote. Objection handling, I think, is a great subject because I know you have a lot of experience handling objections.
Yeah.
And especially to either newer guys or guys who just aren't used to giving options, one thing that is important to understand is that an objection is not a no.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have to be a no.
Exactly.
An objection is the customer is saying they need clarification. They need to understand how much value they're getting for the price that you gave them, and can be very uncomfortable handling objections.
That's how it should be, honestly, in a way. Every call, it's going to have objections. I would say about 70% to 80% of our calls, there's going to be objections towards it. And it should make you feel uncomfortable because it's what's going to keep you on your toes. So it's going to be part of it, and just learning how to handle them. If you go to a call and it doesn't turn out in your favor, always sit in your van and think, what did I do in that call? Run that call back. And it's really us most of the times. We didn't handle those objections properly. We didn't take the time to understand the customer. A lot of these customers, a lot of times, they just want to be heard. They just want to put their 2 cents in whatever they got going on, and they just want to be heard. You take a little bit of time and just hear them out.
Yeah, most people probably don't have anyone really listen to them on a daily basis.
Exactly.
And if you can go in there and really demonstrate that you're listening and you're trying to help them solve their problem ethically, that's the battle right there. No. You only buy stuff from people you trust.
Oh, exactly.
All right, so it looks like we got about 7 or 8 different objections. And what I'm thinking is we'll just go through each one and we can explain when someone gives an objection, what it actually means, what the customer is actually communicating, and then ways to overcome it. One thing that helps me, use a baseball metaphor, stay in the box and keep the conversation going, because that's really what it's about. It's clarifying what their objection actually means. So number one, I think this is one of the main ones that I come across is I have to talk to my spouse.
That's a real popular one out there.
Yeah.
We all go through that one, at least once a day, maybe.
What we have to remember is that the customer did talk to their spouse before you got there. I highly doubt that they have this plumbing issue and they didn't consult their partner. So that's not exactly what they're saying.
The thing is, they just want that pricing from you. They probably have other estimates they're going to get, whatever. But when you run into that, the best way that I handle the let me talk to my wife objection is always leave that house without giving them pricing and get a return visit. Okay, so when's your wife going to be home? When are you guys both going to be here? Or let's get her on the phone. Usually when you say, let's get her on the phone, a lot of times like, oh, no, she's working, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so when can I come back? When's a good day to come back? And always hold on to your pricing. Don't give that pricing up. Set a return visit. You can know how serious they are. If they're really not going to schedule anything, you just lost that customer, something you did along that line. But don't just give your pricing. You understand, we have the power with our pricing, and keep that with you always. If you're not going to be serious about fixing this with me today, if you don't want a return visit for me to come back out here, sit down, because ultimately we don't want the husband to do our job and explain it to the wife. It's never going to get explained right. It's never going to get across right. We need to always tell okay, I don't want you to do my job for me. Like, I feel like that's me telling you to do my job.
So you're saying you don't want to assign the customer the job of giving your presentation to the wife or husband.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying if this comes up, you try to reschedule where you can come back and give your presentation where both of them are there. So, Mr. Customer, when will your wife be available? I can come back and we can go over these options again.
Yeah, all three of us will sit down, because if you have questions about what I'm presenting to you right now, how are you going to answer those questions for her? Let me be here. Let me do my job fully.
You said don't give up that pricing.
No, we don't give up that pricing. That's your power. That's always yours. The idea is we don't want to just go out there just throwing out estimates. Boom, here you go. Where's your email? We don't give that pricing up just because. We'll come back and we'll sit down and we'll end the presentation. You have to let me present before you know my pricing. If you are not the one to make this decision today, if it's your husband, your wife, whoever has to be here, your grandma, your grandpa, fine. We're going to schedule it for me to come back. I'm going to sit down with you guys. I'm going to present. And in my presentation, I'm going to give you guys my pricing. I'm not just going to email you my estimates and just give it up like that.
So what happens if I tricked you and they got you to give pricing and then they say that I need to consult my spouse?
Well, that's why you got to handle the objection of who's going to make this decision today. Yeah, at that point, if they're going to play that game with you, there's not much you can do, honestly. They're going to BS you through the whole process in that way. Not the whole process, but at the end, they're going to BS you on, oh yeah, at the end, still got to talk to my... But yet again, at that point, you drop the ball on it from the beginning. Because at that point, if you're going to ask them, are you going to be the one making this decision today?
At what point do you ask them that?
It's at the beginning of the call. You're handling like who found this problem, all that type of stuff. But at the beginning of that call, so are you going to be the one making this decision today? Will you be the one paying for this today? Stuff like that. You want to ask those to handle those objections at the beginning. That way, when they do present themselves, you already have like, oh yeah, I'll be the one fixing all this. I'll be the one signing for all of this today. That way they hit you with I need to talk to my wife. Sir, when you said you were going to be the one, making this decision, like what's stopping you then?
What's the real reason?
Yeah, like it sounds like you wanted to get this fixed. It was urgent to you. Like, why aren't we getting it fixed?
And that's a concept that I don't think a lot of people realize if they're just getting into this, is that objection handling doesn't come strictly at the end when you're given your presentation and prices. You can actually, like you said, set up objection handling at the beginning of the call.
Yeah.
You lay the foundation so you get information from them in the beginning to so that you're not hit at the end with, I got to talk to my wife.
Yeah.
Because you've already handled that.
But yeah, the objection handling process, the procedure for that, you're handling all those objections up front before you get hit. You don't handle objections just when you get hit with them. That's not where you want to start handling your objections. It's from the beginning of that call. Who found this problem? How did that make you feel? Ask those type of questions. So that way you can handle all that up front on your own terms. And then at the end, once you got all that covered, that way you're not spending time. Oh, you're not looking to get this fixed today? Okay, I'm sorry. If you're just shopping it around, I set the expectation to where I'm not going to spend 2-3 hours here when you're telling me it's not something I really want to get fixed.
Because your time's money. And I know in the beginning you can ask when they're describing the problem, you'll say something like, so let me clarify, is this something you want to get fixed today?
Yeah.
Or are we just getting estimates?
Exactly.
ask that in the
taking a
beginning.
look at it, stuff like that. We have to handle that up front. And that way it sets the standard for the call. It gives you an idea of how this is going to roll out. You can always save those type of calls. Don't think just because they tell you also, we're just taking a look at this. Yeah, don't spend 2 hours when that's what their mindset is. But that doesn't mean, okay, fine, I'm leaving. Good luck. Yeah. I'll just email you. Don't get into that mindset of it either. But it just sets the standard for you also.
Yeah, I mean, because your approach is going to be different if they tell you straight up, you're the third estimate, I'm just getting prices.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Oh, exactly.
So one way that I've found that works is if the customer, okay, you're at the end of the call, you gave your prices, the husband says, all right, this looks great, I got to talk to my wife. Then you can say, oh, okay, can we get her on the phone? Try and keep the conversation going, like we said. And then if they say something like, she's not available right now, then you can say something like, if she was here, which option would she normally pick? Does she normally do the premium, or she's more budget conscious? And so in that way, you're getting the customer to decide for them, simulate them being there, just to keep the conversation continually going.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And also, it's one of those things when you get to that point, you answer with the question to clarify like how I handle that to keep it going. Everything's answer back with the question. Get to know them, get to understand why they're not willing to move forward on this today. But that's why you just keep question after question.
Okay. If they're not saying yes in that moment, their objection is they don't understand what value they're getting for the price that they're paying. So it might be a good time to actually go back and go over the options again in detail. It's crucial when you're explaining your options to a customer, you go into as much detail as possible because that builds value.
Yeah.
If you have a leaking angle stop, you don't just go in there and say, oh, I'm going to replace the angle stop. No, you have to shut the water down. You have to bleed down the system. You have to remove the angle. There's all these little processes that customer doesn't know. And if you tell them if you make it sound easy and simple, then they're going to think it's easy and simple.
Yeah.
So maybe go back over the value proposition and figure out if the customer really needs to talk or if they're just not completely on board with what they're getting versus what they're paying. And so number 2, which is how much do you charge per hour or what's your hourly rate? I think that it's important to understand that if you're doing flat rate pricing, it's actually better for the customer.
Yeah.
Because think about it. If you are a new guy, you don't have much experience, you're going out and you're doing like a water heater, it's going to take you significantly more time than someone who's done it for 10 years. So that's not good for the customer because they're paying more for inexperienced technicians. And then if you're an experienced technician that can get the job done faster, you shouldn't be penalized because you can do it faster because of your experience. We'll just go into the role playing and then we'll see how you would handle it.
Okay. Hey, Brandon, today it's going to be $2,000 to get this water heater fixed for you.
$2,000? Geez, how much do you guys charge per hour?
We don't charge per hour. We have a flat rate pricing system. That's how we generate our pricing for every customer because we want to be fair across the board through every customer.
What do you mean flat rate?
So what that means is we have a price book that we pull pricing from. It's all pre-calculated. Everything's just in there. We don't come out here and bid how long it's going to take me. If it takes me 10 hours to do this water, you're still paying even if it took me 2 hours to do it. It's the same across the board.
I see. But if you get it done faster, can I get a discount?
If it takes me 10 hours, will you pay me more?
Probably. I wouldn't want to.
So that's why we do flat rate pricing. Mm-hmm. It's exactly why.
And then you had said earlier, customers paying for an outcome.
Yeah.
They should not be worrying too much about the physical movements that I have to do to get the hot water back up and running. Think of it as you're paying me this amount and I'm guaranteeing you with the warranty that I'm going to get the hot water back on.
Yeah, you're just paying me for the outcome of this job. It's like your phone bill. When you pay your phone bill every month, you don't call T-Mobile and say, hey, so what did you guys do this month to get me service? Like, how did you guys do it? How many trucks were on the road? How? Yeah. No, you just pay it because you're paying for your phone to have service and you to be able to get phone calls, you to receive text messages, and you get on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you got to do on the web. Don't look at it as like you're paying me to solder this, to tighten this, to loosen this. No, you're paying me to get there, stop the leak, get you hot water by this evening.
They worry too much about exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
And you're listening to this and you're not on flat rate, you probably should be.
No, yeah, you need to be. You need to be.
That's the way the industry is going, and especially in bigger cities like Phoenix. Time and material is just an old way of thinking.
Very old. There's so many factors in service now with the pricing of vans nowadays, all that stuff. That's why flat rate pricing, it just works.
You just go into a little more detail about what actually goes into that hourly rate.
If you had a hard time with it, what I would say at that point, you were just belittling yourself because you were just thinking about that angle stop and removing the old one, putting the new one in, and turning that water back on. That's all you were tunnel visioned into looking at. If you look at it, if you're charging X amount of dollars for an angle stop, look at it as what it costs to get that job, however you generated that lead or whatever.
Marketing, all that.
What that costs to put that van on the road, have stock in that van, get there, do diagnostics to determine what's wrong. Like, it's not just wrench time. It's a lot of different factors into it.
Technicians don't understand. You have all different types of insurances, the tools, you have the office personnel calling in the phones. It's just a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into the price.
And you got to be priced right, man, to have nice things.
And I think most importantly, you as the technician want to be paid well.
Exactly.
You deserve to be paid. You are a skilled tradesman, and there's not a lot coming up behind you.
And, these customers that we're working in their homes day to day, they have nice retirement packages. They probably have nice health care, all that stuff. Like, why can't we have that? Like, we want the same. I want to have a nice retirement package, and I want to have good health care. I want to have benefits at my job. I want all that type of stuff. I want end of year bonuses if it's possible. But to get there, we have to be priced right.
Absolutely. And it's hundreds of dollars per hour, especially if you're in a big city like Phoenix.
Oh, exactly.
Unless your company straight up has a sleazy vibe to it, that price is based upon their business model. And if we're not the business owner, if they say that this is what we need to charge, then that's what we need to charge. And everyone seems to be roughly in the same area, unless you're like a handyman or something.
Yeah.
But people will be pretty surprised at how much plumbing costs per hour, and it's going to go up, continue to go up.
Yeah.
It's a great time to get into the field, into the trades.
Year by year, more plumbers are retiring, and it's less the amount they're coming in. I strongly believe we will get to the point where it'll be name your price.
Oh, yeah.
It's starting to show, and I think it'll get there. And anybody that has second doubts about trades and stuff, this is where it's at. And I'm pretty sure everybody hears it everywhere. But, I mean, us being in the trade, I vouch for that 100%.
6 figures is doable.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll go into the fourth one. Can you email me the estimate? So you're given your presentation, they handled objections, and they're just like, okay, can you just email me this? Can you just email me this information so I can look at it later? How would you respond to that?
On the email me one, I always try to tell the customer, well, I got one better for you. Tell me which one do you like? Start having them look at these options again. Which one do you like? Is there one that you like better than the other one? I got one better for you. What do you like about this one? Is there any one that stands out more? I think we don't want to really email. Like if there's none, that I don't really like any of these options. Honestly, I just need time to go look over them. What do you need time to research? Like I'm here, ask me these questions. That's where I go with question by question, everything, answer it with the question.
So keeping the conversation moving.
Yeah. And try to get their attention on those options again. Like now once they tell you, email me this, like their mind, their focus just went from, I don't really care. Now their focus is just email it to me. I'll get this guy out the door. And then I'm done listening to you. So we want to get the customer's focus, shift it back into those options. Start looking at these options. Start asking them, hey, is there anyone that you like? Is there one that you don't like, that you absolutely hate? Hey, I'll just get rid of it right now. Let's go over these. Get their focus back on those options.
It sounds like you're helping them move along.
Yeah.
If they're completely against the premium, okay, that's fine. What about these other ones?
Exactly.
We'll go a little role play, be like, all right, Cesar, all this looks good and everything, but can you just email me these estimates? I'll take a look at them later.
Okay, I got one better for you. How about if we just sit down and take a look at these one more time?
Okay.
Is there one that you absolutely don't like? Hey, is this too much for you right now? Too many?
I'll be honest. I don't really like the economy option. That seems like you're just going to be back out here in a few months. The premium is a little bit high. I really am having trouble understanding how you got that price.
Perfect. Yeah. You know what? We're just going to go ahead and get rid of this economy option.
Okay.
Just erase it. Mm-hmm. Just don't even look at it no more, Brandon. Come on. Okay. The premium one. Let's see what we can do with that premium one. You say price is what you're not liking right now?
It's doable. I'm having trouble. What kind of warranty does it come with?
This package comes with a 5-year can't write a check warranty.
Oh.
So for the next 5 years, I'll be your personal plumbing concierge. You just pick up that phone and I'm here. Yeah, it's a lot of service that does come with the price.
So you tell me if anything goes wrong with this tankless in the next 5 years, it's covered?
Oh, completely covered.
Really?
I will personally be your plumbing concierge when it comes to it.
Is the maintenances included?
Yep, that's a full 5 years maintenance. This is my premium plus option. This is my Ferrari option here.
Okay. That makes more sense. I didn't understand all the maintenances came with it and the service. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with the premium.
Perfect.
But it's like just
yeah, we all wish it was that easy. That's just to give everybody an idea of ways to handle it, question after question with everything. The thing is, we get in that mindset where it's what you get out the door, and because this is how I used to be. This is why I say this. You're just like, oh, thank God I'm out that door. That guy was a total pain. Oh, yeah, I'm calling my dispatcher now. I'm putting him on the do not service list.
Blackball him.
Yeah, it's a bad habit to get, and it's very easy to fall into it. And still to this day, I still need constant refreshers just to be consistent with, because we always get a little bit lazy sometimes with it. But yeah, I mean, it's just thought I'd bring that up.
That's a good example, too, to remember that service, especially when you're talking about the premium options. At that point, the value isn't in the parts or the repair, it's in the service, it's in the warranty.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure the customer understands why it costs that much, and you only can get that way by asking the questions. If you want to if the customer says, can you just email that to me? That's very vague on what the problem is.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's your responsibility to ask questions and try and drill down to what exactly, where is it not making sense?
You lost that customer somewhere along that road, because at that point, what that translates to, can you email me this? That pretty much translates like, okay, I'm done. Like, just move on with you. Just get out of my house. That's what that translates to, because they lost, focus on whatever you're fixing, whatever you're looking at. So a lot of that, we got to take responsibility on ourselves too when it comes to that. It's not always just the customer. It's very easy to say, oh, that customer, blah, blah, blah. It's not always just the customer. Most of the times it's us. We're not following the process. We're not sticking to that procedure. And we got to sit back and look back.
Yeah, especially if you're doing, like what we said earlier, and handling this objection in the beginning of the call, asking the customer, okay, what's your purpose today? Are you trying to get this fixed today? Or are you just getting estimates? What's going on? And then that's great, because if they say, no, I want to get this fixed today, you shouldn't be getting that objection at the end.
Oh, exactly.
And if you do, then you can bring up, I thought you said you wanted to get this taken care of.
What happened, Mr. Customer? It sounded like this is something that was urgent to you. A lot of times they do want to take care of their things. And like I said, we got to take responsibility on ourselves. We lost them.
It's our fault. They have a problem. They called you. Why didn't you do it for them?
Yep.
All right. Number 5, we're moving soon. So they say that they don't want to go with the tankless right now because they plan on putting the house up sometime in the future. What's a good way to overcome that?
It does bring more value to the home. Always focus on getting things fixed right. Even if you're moving, your home is going to look better when it comes to selling the home. Also, you want to make sure you tell the customer, hey, if you're moving soon, this is a perfect example of why we should do everything right. What happens on the day of closing, they find this problem and then they back out. You're going to have an inspector in this house. They're going to come take a look at all this stuff. This is a perfect example why you need to take this serious and do it the right way. And a lot of times when people are moving and stuff like that, I'll be honest, I've told customers, if you don't plan on living here forever, you're not going to get the benefit of installing your premium plus tankless with all this maintenance. I'm honest, it's probably hurts me, but you got to be honest with it. It's probably not your best option. But you do want to make sure you do install everything up to code, because you will have inspectors in and out of this home, and they're going to catch this stuff and they're going to call you out on it, and then you're going to be stuck with it.
And you touched on making them see the value in, say, going with the tankless, even though they're going to move, because that's a selling point when they go to sell the house. If all things being equal, if a customer is looking at 2 houses, one has a brand new tankless and one has a 15-year-old water heater, that weighs in, that counts for something in their decision making.
Yeah, your house is going to look more appealing to that buyer, honestly. And
yeah, if they got maybe some old faucets that they don't want to replace, so you quote them to replace all the faucets in the house, they're like, why would I do that? I'm about to move. You can be like, because that's going to show up on the inspection. If all of your faucets are leaking or they have calcium corrosion buildup on it, they're going to note that, and then the potential buyer might talk you down, or he has leverage now to lower your price. Whereas opposed, if you just get this all handled now, we can go with the economy option, but it's taken care of.
Exactly.
All right, number 6. This is a good one. Number 6, I can get that done way cheaper. I know a guy, I got a handyman. He can do it for at least half that price.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure you can get it done cheaper. Make sure you ask what corners are they going to cut. Do you know what corners they're going to cut when they do it cheaper? Have you thought about that?
But my handyman just gives me the price and I pay him.
Exactly. So I'm sure he could do it cheaper. But there's a reason why he can do it cheaper. It's because he's going to cut corners. This is the price to do it right. Not cut any corners.
With the warranty. A lot of handymen, they don't have warranties. And technically they shouldn't be touching plumbing, anything to do with the supply line.
And I've walked into that scenario also where it's, yeah, my handyman did this for me, but God, yeah, I have this leak here now, and he's out in Hawaii on vacation for the next 2 weeks. He said he could be here in 3 weeks. So what are you going to do with that leak? Everything should come with some type of warranty, but it's like, now you have to call me out. And that's another thing. Like, it is a little bit more to do it with us, whatever. We are always here for you. We're an established company. We're an established business that is going to respond to you immediately when you do have that leak. Instead of that one-man show where, what if he gets hurt on the job? And typically those guys, they're booked out like crazy because they're so cheap.
To not understand why we charge, like a real plumbing company charges more, is not understanding service. And not understanding, again, you're paying for an outcome, but you're not paying for parts. You're not paying for 35 turns on this one nut. You're paying for the outcome, but a warranty. And warranties are huge. And knowing that you'll be there if something happens or something goes wrong, that's pretty valuable.
Yeah, and to be able to stand behind those warranties, it's just how the typical American shops nowadays is. Warranties are huge. Every customer, those warranties, you beef them up, you make them nice for them, they're going to most likely buy from you just because of that warranty.
It's the whole experience of having a plumbing issue taken care of. How do you feel when they left? If you're charging for $75 an hour, you're going to probably be in and out of there as fast as you can. You're not going to try and talk to them. You're not going to ask questions. You're not going to listen to them. You're like, you get there and you have blinders on and you're like, where's the problem? Oh, I see it. Okay, here, fix it. Okay, go. Meanwhile, who knows how much opportunities you just left there.
And you left opportunities definitely behind. You're just leaving money on the table. That's all you're doing when you go in with those blinders. And one of my employers that actually did this sales training for me and brought me along with it, he explains that perfectly. It's a lot of these technicians, they come in and, oh, where's the problem? Oh, here's problem. Leaky faucet. Oh, I fixed leaky faucet. I leave. And it's like, it's funny to me when he says that, and I laugh at it, and it's, God, it's so true. Because that's exactly the guy that I was. It's like, you know, next they have 120 PSI coming through your house. You fix that faucet, and 6 months later, it's dripping again. You get called back there, and now you come in and you say, oh, yeah, man, I'm sorry, but yeah, your PRV is bad, and we got to replace that, and I can't even honor this warranty now. But stuff like that, like, we got to check it before, because it saves you from that callback. So yeah, sir, like if up from the beginning, if you would have said, check the whole pressure and everything in the house for that leaky faucet, maybe they couldn't afford that PRV at that moment. But you come back and you're covered. Yeah, like, sir, look at this. Last time I explained to you your high water pressure that you have. Look, we're back here at the same issue.
It's definitely conveying to the customer that your prices versus a handyman, it's about service.
Yeah.
As anything that I could really drill down on is service comes before plumbing.
Yep.
Especially when you're dealing with people.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the service we're providing. Everything is about the service we bring.
All right, number 7, if you can beat this price, I'll give it to you. Or let's say if you can match this price, you can have the work. Or something along those lines where the customer is forcing you to drop your price. How would you handle that situation?
On something like that, I'd say, okay, what's your price? Okay, yeah, if you do it for this much. Okay, perfect. What corners do you want me to cut? Which ones? Oh, well, no, I don't want you to cut any corners. Okay, then you don't want me to drop my price. My price is to do it right. But yeah, if you want to drop the price, what corners? Do you tell me which ones should I cut? And that's because, like you said, it's service. We have to stick to that. We're providing a service for this price. Okay, perfect. You want it cheaper? Yeah, I'm sure the job's mine if I cut my price in half. When you say something like, okay, what corners do you want me to cut? What do you want me to do wrong? It's telling them, okay, you're asking for less service. It's the only way you're going to get a cheaper price. That's worked for me. I gave you this price for a reason. I didn't give you this price to
Just
let's
pull it
play.
out of your
Yeah. Well, and then let's play. How much discounts I can give you? This is the price to do it.
Yeah, it definitely comes back to being confident in your pricing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Give them this price, and then next thing you're giving them 200 whatever off. Then that tells the customer that you're not confident in your pricing. You don't really know where your pricing came from, because if you can just remove prices and still be okay, why didn't you just give me that price to start with? It's very crucial to be firm on your prices. If you do anything, maybe you can add some value to it. You can value stack. You can throw some stuff in here or there if you need to close it. That's why if you have multiple options, then you tell them you can choose this lower option if it's too expensive for you.
Yeah.
You don't give them ultimatums. So if you have Joe teaches 6 options, all about 20% difference across each one, they have a price point for everything if you're following that.
We also use give parts, like that type of stuff away. Okay, you know what? If you want to go ahead and move forward with this, you know what? Here I have 15 angle stops you're going to be replacing. I'll help you out with the price. What if I won't charge you for 3 of them? The whole value stacking and all that. That, helps with that. We don't just take the price and just cut it. Oh, yeah, I'll do it for half. So those 6 faucets we're doing, you know what? I won't charge you for the last one. Try using that.
Yeah, don't just give them a dollar amount off. You make them see what you're doing specifically. So I'm not just going to discount $400. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install the 6th one at no charge. And it's still on your invoice so they can see what they're getting.
Yep. And also that works because let's say the neighbor calls in and let's just say it's a water heater, and you just go ahead and just give them, okay, we typically charge X amount of dollars for this water heater. I'm going to give you a $300 discount on it. Mm-hmm. And then he goes and tells his neighbor, I had Cesar out here. He charged me X amount of dollars for this water heater. Mm-hmm. Call him. I go out there and I'm giving him the original price on it. He's, wow, you charged my neighbor this much. And it creates that conflict because then we're not necessarily... But if you price it that way, oh, it's because with him, we gave him a free pan or we gave him a free expansion tank, stuff like that. Back yourself up on it.
Yeah, you want to be able to account for how you got that discount.
Yeah.
Just for anyone listening, something you can always do to throw in some value is flush the water heater. Throw that in there. If you carry aerators on your truck, you can replace some aerators. There are many ways to build value, but we just don't want to knock off the price. Just come off our price because you're giving the customer control. If you he's like holding you hostage. Give me this price or I'm not. No, that's not how this works.
No.
All right. Number 8, it seemed like the last one, very simple. I just don't have the money for it right now, Cesar. I'd like to do it. I want to do it. I love your options. I love your presentation and everything. I just don't have the money right now.
I would tell them, what if I could do this for about $100 a month?
Really? 100?
Yeah. What if I told you I had a way to be able to do this for about $100 a month?
I'd be very interested then. How can you...
We offer financing. That's how we're able to do that for you. Yeah, just $100 a month, and we can get all this done for you.
For people that don't offer financing, that's a real handicap.
Oh, it's a strong tool to have in your pocket, especially those sewer jobs, stuff like that.
Those
big
routes.
Projects. Financing. It's very little people out there, man, that have $20,000 just sitting in the right pocket. Okay, here you go, Cesar. It's not common. So yeah, financing is very important.
All right, so that's about our 8 common objection handling techniques. We'll just do like a rapid fire. What if someone says they want to talk to their spouse?
That means that you didn't do your job right. You lost them along the road.
So at some point you lost them and they just don't understand the value possibly that they're getting.
Yeah.
Or they don't trust you.
It's a way of them telling you, okay, it's time for you to leave. It's the nice way of them telling you it's time for you to leave.
But remember, we're going to stay in the box, ask questions, keep the conversation going. How much you charge per hour? We do flat rate pricing and not hourly rate.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's better for you as a customer. It's better for me as the technician. We both win by doing flat rate pricing.
Yeah.
And then number 3, can you break that job down for me?
Parts are free. Parts are free, but no,
wait,
on that one.
Oh, say that again. I don't think people heard that.
Parts are free. You're paying me for an outcome. You're paying me for what I'm doing here. You're paying me to get you hot water. Parts are free.
You're paying for the service and you're paying for the outcome. Sometimes they're really so persistent. I end up giving them a number. And at that, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but at that point, you have to own that we are worth what I'm about to say. We're definitely worth the rates that we're charging. Number 4, can you email the estimate?
The same one is talk to my wife, talk to my husband, bring the focus back on those estimates, back on those options.
5, we're moving soon.
Always focus on the house, focus on the value that's staying in the home. A lot of times people think that the investment is in your company. Oh, these $10,000 that I'm doing work. They think it's like they're investing it into your company, into you. Bring it back with them and tell them, look, the investment isn't in Cesar. The investment isn't in the company that I work for. The investment is in your home. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're paying me X amount of dollars to do this water heater. That water heater stays here. It stays in your garage. You don't pay me and I take that water heater with me. Like it's the investment is in your home.
Using specifically investment when talking to the customer because the plumbing is one of the more expensive parts of a house. It's a big investment. And it's if you don't have water quality and right water pressure.
It adds up. That bill adds up, man.
Especially when a flood happens, 10 minutes and you're thousands and thousands of dollars.
And not just that, the actual dealing with all restoration companies in your home. It's not easy on anybody. Yeah. It's a pain. I had about a year and a half flood at a house that I was staying at. And God, it was like a month of torture, man, living through all that.
Avoid that if possible by investing in your plumbing when it comes to water filtration, water quality.
Yep, exactly.
Pressure, stuff like that. Number 6, I can get this done way cheaper. My handyman can do it for less. What are you paying for as a customer? You're paying for more than just the physical movements. You're paying for the service, the insurance, the warranties, the fact that you'll be there. And then if you beat this price, I'll give it to you.
What corners do you want me to cut?
What corners?
What they're saying is I'm trying to get the best deal I can out of you. There's also those scenarios where you do have to give discounts or whatever, but that's not what we're going for here. Always ask, okay, what corner do you want me to cut with it?
Mm-hmm. Or you select a cheaper option. And then the last one, I just don't have enough money. Do you offer financing? I forgot who it was who said that if at the end of the day, the reason they didn't buy from you is because they don't have enough money, that's okay. You did your job right. You explained it. You educated them. But at the end of the day, they really sincerely just don't have the money for it. Well, that's not your fault. That's nothing you can do. And if they don't have good credit or they don't want to go down the financing road, that's fine. Where we typically think not enough money is the first objection, it's the last one in a way because you've overcome all of the other ones.
Financing is very important. And financing, it should be offered on every call. Mm-hmm. Always, even if they do have the money sitting there, like just, hey, we also do offer financing. Like we offer 6 months, 12 months, whatever, no interest. People love that stuff.
And you said that you don't, like when you're showing a customer prices, you show them the monthly payment, not the full price?
So I try to hide my pricing at the end because what I typically like to do with it, just focus on what you're getting. What you're offering to them. Get the customer more focused on the service they're getting. Go through all of them, all your different options, and then at the end, I ask, okay, is there one that you like? Is there one that you don't like? And they're always like, what's the price? Okay, which one are you more interested in? It's worked with me. Obviously, there's case-to-case scenarios. There's different customers out there, but play with it. See what works best for you.
Yeah, it sounds like you're saying get them excited about the option before they see the price.
Yeah, what they're getting. Yeah,
build it up.
Going back to Joe, I've played that. How much you think this is going to cost? Take a guess at it. I like that one a lot, man, because it also boils down to what type of connection you have with your customer. I'm more of the funny. That's how I try to connect with my customers. That's how I have a lot of success connecting with them. They would take a guess at, it's going to be $50,000, and like. Just to look at the face like, what? Nah, I'm just kidding. It's only 20 or it's only 15. Yeah. Stuff like that. There's customers that will guess on it. I don't know, 15,000. Wow, that's a lot of service. Try more like 30,000 for this. And it's fun. Once you're able to play with that and stuff, try that type of stuff. But you got to make it your own. It's one of those things you got to make it your own.
If you're just hearing this and you're just starting to think about objections, don't think of it as, okay, I need to memorize these responses for objections. Because the best way to overcome objections is to build a relationship with the customer and get them to trust you.
Yep.
Get them and trust you. And then when you give them those prices, because they trust you, they won't give you objections.
Yeah.
So that's probably the most important thing. And humor is great. I mean, if you can get a customer laughing, you're in it.
And the thing is also, typically nobody's going to spend $20,000 on you in the first 5 minutes.
Oh, sure.
You're not going to go in there in 5 minutes and boom, okay, where do I sign? It's going to take some massaging, man, to get them to understand and agree that type of stuff. it's going to take some time.
So like roughly how much time do you spend with a customer before you start like throwing thousands of dollars? Do you have a kind of a guideline or?
Not necessarily. I can't put a time frame on it, but typically it's going to take me about 30 minutes to do it, proper diagnostics, to check water pressure, water quality, the issue. You got about 30 minutes time spent. Diagnostics, probably another 10, 15 minutes just talking to the customer. I like to talk, to my customers and joke around, whatever I'm doing. Pet their dog, play on the couch with their dog for a little bit.
I did this for a while. Yeah. Set a stopwatch and just make it a point that you're really not going to try to present until the 30 minutes is up or 20 minutes or whatever it is you need to start.
You come in there, just boom, leak here, and boom, $12,000. You need a softener, you need this, you need that.
Yeah.
They're probably going to look at you like, are you dumb? Take your time with it. Average, I think a healthy time spent with the customer at home is between an hour and a half to 2 hours. To really get through everything. I spent 2.5 hours there, and they still just went with the economy, cheaper option. And that's fine.
This time.
Yeah.
This time. But if you build that relationship next time.
And it's just, remember, all we're doing is we're just showing them the options. We're just giving them options. That does not mean, you did a bad job because they didn't go with the premium. Don't think about it that way. At the end, we're going to let them choose. They're the ones that are going to choose. There's customers that, the economy option is the best for me right now. And that's fine. Don't think you did a bad job because they didn't go with your premium plus option. That's not what we're going for here. Obviously, we would like, to get that premium plus option as much as we can so that don't feel bad if they didn't go with that.
A better metric, instead of thinking, I need to get premium or I failed. Or if I didn't get premium, I'm not good at this or something like that. You really want to focus on 3 options.
Yeah.
Diagnosing the whole system. Put a gauge on every house, no matter what. Even if it has a PRV. Put a gauge
those things
on there.
fail. They fail constant.
Oh, yeah. Water quality. Do a water hardness test.
Yeah.
I would focus more, if you're getting into this, to have those standards you set for yourself. Like, I'm going to check the pressure at every house. I'm going to check the water quality. I'm going to do my best to give 3 options. I'm going to ask the customer questions. Make it a goal to... Every customer, I want to at least find out where they're from. Or I want to at least find out if they have what their one hobby is.
Yeah.
Setting goals like that is a lot better when it comes to objection handling than actually handling the objections.
Exactly. It's a process. Build a process, build a procedure, and that's what's going to get you to success. Yep. Stick to it and follow it.
And every call is the same. Don't choose for the customer.
Yeah, exactly.
Cesar, I think that's about it. I just say I appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge. Where can people reach you if you want them to?
Yeah, you guys can just shoot me an email if you guys want to connect or want some coaching or anything that I could help on. My email is clazcano621@gmail.com. And that's clascano621@gmail.com.
Yep. Or go to the YouTube page and leave a comment. I can get in touch with Cesar if you want to get in touch with him for any reason. And then my email address is brandon@thatplumbingpodcast.com. To reach out to me if you want to be a guest or if you have more questions about this process, especially if you're in the Phoenix area, because I'm about to start really promoting heavily out here. Look forward to the local plumbers and getting connected with them and changing the culture in the industry and the way that we look at service. Because there's just so much potential out there for anyone in the service trades. All right, then. I will see y'all again. I will talk to y'all again later. I'll talk to you later. I'll see you later. I'm just going to keep saying different ones. Bye. Peace.